Welcome to this Australian Fashion Institute mini class. If you're ready to dive into pattern making, you are in the right place because today we'll be starting with one of the most essential foundations, the basic bodice block pattern. The bodice block, also known as a sloper, is a custom fitted pattern that maps the true shape of the upper body using your own measurements. There are no design elements in a bodice block, just clean, precise representation of your torso's structure. Think of it as your blueprint. You won't wear the block itself, but you will use it to create just about everything: tops, dresses, jackets, you name it. Every dart, seam, and neckline in a finished garment starts right here with a bodice block. In couture and professional fashion design, this is where the magic begins. Here's what you'll need to get started: some pattern paper, or simply just use some craft paper if that's all you've got on hand. A half-scale mannequin. I'll be using this one today to demonstrate how to take accurate measurements either on yourself or your client. A pencil and eraser for marking and correcting your draft pattern. A measuring tape, essential for taking accurate body measurements. You'll need some scissors and a pattern master. If you don't have one, a ruler and a French curve will do perfectly. But if you don't have a French curve, you can simply use a dinner plate. This can mimic the gentle arc of the neckline and armhole curve perfectly. Before we begin drafting your pattern, we'll need to take a few key body measurements. Let's start with your waist measurement. To find your natural waist, tie a piece of string around your midsection and lift your arms above your head. The string will settle at your true waistline. Measure here. Don't pull tight, don't breathe in. We want an accurate, comfortable measurement. Next, let's focus on your bust circumference. Measure around the fullest part of your bust. If you usually wear a bra, keep it on while measuring for the most realistic fit. Make sure the tape is level all the way around and don't suck in. Just breathe normal. Next, we're going to take our apex to apex measurement. We need to measure across the front from one bust point to the other. This can also be called nipple to nipple measurement. Now we're going to move to our neck measurement. Measure around the base of your neck, not your throat, but where your neck meets your shoulders. This will give us your neckline base measurement, which will be essential for shaping the bodice properly. Now we need to take our shoulder length measurement. We measure from the base of the neck to the point where your shoulder meets your arm. If you're wearing a fitted top, this is usually where the shoulder seam sits. Next, we're going to move to our nape of neck to waist measurement. Find the nape of your neck, which is the small bone at the base, and measure down the center back to your waist string that you tied earlier. This will be your back length. Now we're going to move on to our nape to bust point measurement. From the nape of your neck, measure over the shoulder and down to your bust point. This will be the fullest part of your bust. This is an important measurement for dart placement and shaping. Next, we're going to move on to our arm side measurement. This will be our nape to armhole depth measurement. We need to measure vertically from the nape of your neck down to where your armhole begins. This is usually level with the crease at the top of your armpit. You can place an elastic or a piece of string at this point to help you with your measurement. Another way to find your arm side length is to place around 3 fingers under your armpit and measure from that bottom point. Now we're going to move on to our back width measurement. We need to measure across the widest part of the upper back. This will be from an arm crease to an arm crease, not seam to seam. Stand naturally with your arms relaxed. If you're wearing a fitted top, use the position of the armhole seams as a guide. The measuring tape should run straight across just under the shoulder blades. And that's it. Once you have all these measurements, you're ready to start drafting your bodice block. To begin, we will need to create a pattern grid. This will basically act as a framework for drafting our bodice block. It will help establish our key vertical and horizontal lines. To start off, on a sheet of paper or craft paper, mark a starting point near the top edge and label it point 1. From that point, draw a vertical line downwards using your nape of neck to waist measurement. For me, it's 39 centimeters. Mark the bottom of this point, point 2. Now, from point 2, measure down 1.5 centimeters. And from point 1, measure up 1.5 centimeters. These allowances will help accommodate shaping at the back of the neck and the natural waist curve. From point 1, measure down along the vertical line using your nape of neck to bust line measurement. For me, this is 23 centimeters, and mark this point 3. Now we need to work out the length of our bust line measurement. We need to take our full bust line measurement and divide it by 2. I'm also going to add 5 centimeters to accommodate the space between the front and the back bodice. So for me, my bust measurement is 84 centimeters. We're going to divide that by 2, which equals 42 centimeters, and then 42 centimeters plus 5 centimeters equals 47 centimeters. I'm also going to add an additional 2.5 centimeters for ease, which brings my total to 49.5 centimeters. From point 3, I'm going to mark a straight horizontal line, which is 49.5 centimeters in length, and mark that endpoint, point 4. Now we need to square out our grid. From the bottom of your center back line, draw a straight horizontal line across until it meets the same length as point 4. From the bottom of this new line, draw a vertical line upward, passing precisely through point 4, and extend this line until it meets the top of the center back guideline. Now we need to complete our rectangle. Once that vertical line is in place, draw a horizontal line across from this point. Now I'm going to mark my center front and center back lines. Now we need to mark our arm side line. From point 1, measure down your arm side depth along the center back line. For me, this measurement is 18 centimeters. From here, we need to square a horizontal line across the grid until it meets the center front vertical line. You should now have 3 key horizontal guidelines on your grid: the waistline, the bust line, and the arm side line. Labeling these clearly will help you stay organized as you continue to draft your bodice block. Now we're going to start by marking the neckline on the center front. We need to take our full neck circumference and divide it by 5. For example, my neck measurement is 40 centimeters. So 40 centimeters divided by 5 equals 8 centimeters. I'm going to add 0.5 centimeters of ease for comfort, giving a total neckline width of 8.5 centimeters. On the top horizontal line, mark your measurement from that corner point. On the vertical center front line, from the corner point, we are going to mark down the same measurement minus the ease you added. So for me, this is 8 centimeters. Mark these 2 points, point 5 and point 6. Now we need to draw in our neckline curve. From point 6, draw a short horizontal line around 1 centimeters inwards. This will help the neckline curve meet the center front at a right angle. This will ensure that the neckline sits flat and smooth when it's sewn. Using a French curve ruler, draw a smooth curve connecting point 6 to point 5, ensuring that curve meets the center front line at a right angle. Now let's draft the front shoulder dart. We need to apply half our apex to apex measurement and apply it to the bust line. You can add ease here. I will be adding 0.5 centimeters. Mark that point 7. From point 7, draw a vertical guideline straight up until it meets the top edge of the grid. This line will help guide the placement of the dart. From point 6, the neckline depth point, measure 1 centimeter upwards along the center front line. Label this point 8. From point 8, draw a horizontal guideline until it intersects with the vertical line you just created from point 7. Let's use my measurement as an example. My bust size is 84 centimeters. 84 centimeters minus 88 equals minus 4 centimeters. So the increments is minus 4 divided by 4 equals minus 1. The adjustment needs to be minus 1 times 0.6 equals minus 0.6 centimeters. So my dart width will be 7 minus 0.6 centimeters equals 6.4 centimeters. If you are unsure how to calculate your dart width measurement manually, use the calculator linked below. It will do all the math based on your measurement for you. Mark this distance along that top line from the grid line you drew earlier. Mark this 0.9. Now we take our shoulder measurement. For me, this is 11 centimeters, and we'll need to subtract the distance between 0.5 and that guideline we drew earlier. For me, this is 0.4 centimeters. We will take this measurement and remove it from our shoulder length measurement. So for me, this will be 11 centimeters minus 0.4 centimeters equals 10.6 centimeters. From point 9, pivot your ruler until your measurement hits that guideline. Mark this as point 10. Next, find and mark the halfway point between the bust line and the armhole line. Label this point 11. From point 11, trace up along the grid line until it reaches the top of the grid. Now from point 11, draw a diagonal line upwards to meet point 9. This forms one side of your dart. To complete the dart, measure the distance from point 11 to point 5. Using the same measurement, mark it along the other side, from point 11 towards point 9. Label this new dart tip point 12. This will ensure that both dart legs are the same in length. We may need to make a minor adjustments later, but I will show you how to do that at the end. And finally, draw in the shoulder line by connecting point 12 to point 10. Now we will focus on our side seam and armhole construction. To calculate your side seam width, we need to take 1/4 of our bust circumference and add 2.5 centimeters for ease. For example, my bust is 84 centimeters. Divided by 4 plus 2.5 equals 23.5 centimeters. I will mark this measurement from the center front along the bust line and label this point 13. Take your back width measurement and divide it by 2 and add 0.5 centimeters for ease. For example, my back width is 35 centimeters. Divided by 2 equals 17.5 centimeters plus 0.5 centimeters equals 18 centimeters. I'm going to mark this again along the bust line and label this point 14. From point 14, use a rough 45-degree angle to measure outwards 2.5 centimeters. Mark this point 15. Using a curved ruler, connect points 13, 15, and 10 to form the armhole. Now we need to work on our waist shaping and side seam placement. From point 13, measure the same horizontal distance along the waistline. Mark this point 16. Then from point 7, measure down the same distance along the waistline and mark this point 17. Now we need to determine our waist darts. To do this, we take our bust circumference and minus our waist circumference measurement. Then we will divide the difference by 2 to get a total reduction needed per half body. This measurement will give us the reduction needed for both our front and back bodice. Taking this measurement, we will need to distribute the amount across 3 different zones: our front dart, our back dart, and our side seams. For example, if the total reduction needed is 10 centimeters per half body, you might distribute it as follows: the front dart, 4 centimeters, the back dart, 4 centimeters, and the side seam, 2 centimeters. We always want to aim to add more centimeters to our waist darts compared to our side seams. Using those measurements, we now need to mark our side seam. From point 16, measure 2 centimeters inwards towards the body along the waistline. Label this point 18. From the mark on the waist point, we need to mark our dart measurement. Mine is 4 centimeters, so I will be marking 2 centimeters either side of this mark. Now, to form the side seam, draw a smooth line to shape the side seam by connecting point 13 at the bust level to point 18 at the waist. And now to form the front waist dart, from point 7, draw lines to connect to each side of the dart width at point 17, forming 2 dart legs. Now let's move on to our back piece. We need to calculate our back neck width. Again, take your neck circumference measurement and divide it by 5, and then add 0.5 centimeters for ease. For example, mine is 40 centimeters divided by 5 plus 0.5 is 8.5 centimeters. Using your measurement, measure this number from the center back along the shoulder line and mark it point 19. Now we need to draw the back neck curve. From point 1, draw a short horizontal guideline at a right angle to the center back line. Then, using a French curve ruler, connect points 19 to 1 to shape the back neckline. Now we need to take our arm side measurement and divide it by 5, then subtract 0.5 centimeters. So for me, my arm side measurement is 18 centimeters. Divided by 5 is 3.6, and then we'll minus 0.5. That leaves me with 3.1 centimeters. We are going to take that measurement and mark it down from point 1 and label it point 20. Now we need to draw in a shoulder guideline. From point 20, draw a horizontal guideline towards the center front. This will help us pivot your shoulder length measurement accurately. We now need to take our shoulder length and add 1.5 centimeters. For example, if your measurement is 11 centimeters, then you plus 1.5, it will give you 12.5 centimeters. From the top of the back neck curve at point 19, use your tape measure or ruler to pivot along the horizontal guideline until you intersect at your total measurement. So for me, this is 12.5 centimeters. Mark this point 21. Now we need to create our shoulder line. Draw a straight line from point 19 to point 21 to form your back shoulder line. Now we need to find the shoulder dart midpoint. Locate the midpoint between point 19 and point 21. Now we need to draw a shoulder dart guideline. From point 1, measure 15 centimeters down vertically and draw a horizontal guideline extending towards the center front. On the horizontal line, place your ruler so it aligns with that shoulder midpoint and mark this point 22. From 22, mark 3 centimeters outwards and mark this point 23. Now we need to mark the dart legs on the shoulder line. Mark 1.5 centimeters inward towards the neckline. Mark this point 24. Mark the original shoulder midpoint, point 25. Now we can draw in our back shoulder dart. Connect points 23, 24, and 25 to complete the dart shape. Now we need to mark our bust line points. Take your bust measurement and divide by 4 and add 0.5 centimeters for ease. Mark this on the back bust line. Now we need to mark this bust width on the waistline as well. Label these point 26 and 27. Now we need to take our back width measurement and divide it by 2 and add 0.5 centimeters for ease. Mark this on the bust line as point 28. From point 28, draw a vertical line upwards until it intersects with your top horizontal guideline. This line helps constrain your armhole shape to avoid excessive curvature. Now again, from point 28, draw a 2.5 centimeter line up at a 45-degree angle. Label the top of this angled line as point 29. Now we need to join the back armhole curve. Join points 26, 29, and 21 using a French curve ruler. Ensure that curve does not cross the vertical guideline from point 28 that we drew earlier. Let's begin drafting our back waist dart. We need to find the midpoint between points 3 and point 28. Using this measurement, we need to mark the same distance along the waistline. Mark this point 30. From that point we made on the waistline, you'll need to mark in your dart measurement. For me, that is 4 centimeters. So I will be marking 2 centimeters either side of that waist mark. Let's label the center of the dart as point 31. Now we need to connect point 30 to each side of those points at 31 to form our dart shape. Let's focus on our side seam. From point 27, measure 2 centimeters inwards and label this point 32. We now need to join point 26 to point 32 to shape our back side seam. Now we need to create a waistline grade. We need to extend the center back waistline down 1.5 to 2 centimeters long, and then draw a diagonal line from this point to the center front hemline. Once you have done this, extend all waist-related points to this new line. We do this because it creates a slight downward slope in the waistline and allows for more accuracy. It will accommodate for the curve of the back and improve the drape and comfort when the garment is worn. We now need to carefully cut out our bodice block pattern pieces. For the front pattern piece, please leave a small allowance of pattern paper around the front shoulder dart. This will allow room to check the dart length. Now let's quickly check our front shoulder dart. Flip your front pattern piece so the armhole is facing towards and away from you. Fold the pattern piece over onto the dart leg facing furthest away from you, creating a crease. Open the pattern flat with the right side facing up. We now need to grab the crease and fold it over to check the dart closes cleanly. If the dart legs do not line up perfectly, ignore the original shoulder line and trim along a new straight line across the shoulder. This will ensure your dart closes accurately and the shoulder line remains straight. If you have a bust that's a D cup or higher, you may need to do some bust dart manipulation to get a proper fit. Don't worry if that sounds complicated, I'll show you exactly how to do it in a later tutorial. In next week's tutorial, we'll show you how to transfer your refined pattern onto pattern card, giving you a durable hard copy you can use as a foundation for future designs. You'll learn how to notch, align grain lines and add seam allowances like a professional, creating a reliable master block for your design library.